Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of the Current Era Podcast. I am your host, Julian, and today I do have the review for Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 5, The Bells. I did this review with my brother, Javar, to prepare for the series finale of Game of Thrones this coming Sunday. I unfortunately was not able to do a Sunday review like I've been doing just because I was actually out of town. So, yeah, but I'm back. The Current Era Podcast is back. I'm not going to miss any episodes for you guys. I'm going to release episodes every Monday and Friday because that's how I do. So please remember to subscribe. If you subscribe, those episodes will download automatically. If you want to download them individually, that's fine too. The downloads are what really count for me. And thank you to everyone around the world that has downloaded my episodes. There's too many countries that I can think of off the top of my head, but thank you so much to everybody that listens to this podcast around the world. It really means a lot, guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. This podcast is growing every day, and I'm happy to announce that I am moving into the YouTube world very, very soon. So thank you so much, guys. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's go ahead and get to the episode. Season 8, Episode 5 of Game of Thrones, The Bells. Whew. All right. I am sitting here with my brother Javar, ready to talk Game of Thrones. Brother, I didn't miss it, but I was on vacation this week, so I couldn't do the reaction episode like I normally do. But I did get to watch it live. It was an interesting episode, I'll say. So before we get to talking about the episode, though, what's going on over there with you, man? How you doing over there?
What's up, man? Doing good. Wish I just came from Vegas. But
Yeah.
doing good, doing good. It's interesting that you say that about this episode. It's just in general, you could everything I've read or listened to is like you either love it or you hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's, I
no.
mean, kind of how this season has went. I'd say
Unfortunately,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Like, it's either, all yes or all no's. Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the first two episodes were kind of,
Well, yeah, those are like classic. Like
yeah,
everybody was loved those first two. Yeah.
yeah, and then it went downhill from there. But whatever. So let's go ahead and get right into it, man. So this episode was called The Bells, I believe.
Yes.
Um, so it kind of opens with Varys, Varys doing what he does, and he's been the spider the whole series, and he's had one of the more, I don't want to say interesting, but one of the more crucial parts. I mean, he does the dirty work essentially. He's the guy that does things in the darkness that are for the good of the realm. And this time, as they foreshadowed, no, not foreshadowed, but they talked about in the last episode, he's made up his mind to kill Daenerys. Um, I was kind of shocked. Like, he was talking to the little girl about, hey, has she eaten her food? Like, did you poison her yet? Is she dead? I was like, oh my
Right.
God, like, we're doing this. Like, this dude's cold blooded. But yeah, and then he gets his death. What'd you think about that, man? Varys has been on the show since episode 1, pretty much. So, how did that death or that scene affect you?
Man, I feel like they did him dirty because he wouldn't be that sloppy. I
Mm-hmm.
think to where I mean maybe because it's desperate times because Daenerys is imminently about to attack King's Landing, but like
Right.
you didn't like this the scene when Jon showed up at Dragonstone, like Varys just basically just got on his knees and begged Jon to betray and uh
Yeah.
do treason against Dany like right off the bat. It's like can I take my shoes off first, bro? Like and then yeah, like I said, just sloppy with the little birds all over the place. Apparently, they were already kind of hip to that. Danny
Yeah.
soldiers kept on watching the little girl, and I don't know, like I felt like really Varys has been like all of the like ever since they got past the books, there's been two things that has been declining heavily that I've noticed, and that's the scheming characters like Littlefinger and Tyrion and Varys, who pretty
Mm-hmm.
much have been key central characters for the entire story. Then most of the
Absolutely.
time they've been the ones pulling the strings for everything.
Yes, 100% agree.
But once they got past the books, it's almost like the showrunners didn't really know what to do with them. So
Yeah.
slowly they got killed like ways that, well, I mean, obviously Tyrion's still with us, but Varys and Littlefinger, they got killed in ways that's like, really? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think they get caught slipping like that, but maybe everybody has a mistake in their long lives.
Yeah.
That could just be that last thing that could be, fatal for you. But just
Yeah.
in general, I mean, I love Varys' character. He pretty much at first you think this guy just serving himself. He's just one of those type of people that's just selfish out there,
Exactly.
like Littlefinger. But no, he's actually, he didn't have any friends really, other than Tyrion, and
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't really have anything else in the world. But he cared about the people. He cared about the small folks, the realm.
Right.
So it's kind of sad because he was the first person to champion, first person from Westeros to cross the sea and champion Daenerys, and fully throw his support behind her and basically get her politically ready for Westeros.
Yep.
But, in a sense, she let him down and she showed him no mercy.
Yeah. It was an interesting scene too because Tyrion, obviously Tyrion's the one that told Dany that Varys was the one that betrayed her, and her. I mean, her first reaction was it was Jon Snow. I'm just
Hmm.
like, wait, calm down. Like, obviously, like, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt up to this point because my goodness, she's lost Jorah, she's lost her Dothraki, quote unquote, because there was a whole bunch of Dothraki in this episode, but she's lost Missandei. I mean, pretty
Two
much,
dragons,
yeah, two
her,
dragons. Yeah,
her babies.
yeah, pretty much everyone that she cares about is dead. So, paranoia, fine, like okay. Um, and then, yeah, when Tyrion tells her that it's Varys, she's like, that doesn't surprise me. Okay, I'm gonna kill him. I'm just like, God, that was quick. But yeah, it looked like Varys was trying to send off letters. I don't know who he was sending them to.
Yeah, there's a couple things in those scenes that were interesting. Who was he sending those letters to? Only people out there that's really of relevance that matters, I guess, is Dorne, because all the other High Lords either are aligned with Dany or they're dead.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was sending it to Essos. Like maybe he made some connects there, but I don't know how they would help.
And then
Or why they would care.
when he heard the guards coming down the stairs, he took off like a ring
Yeah.
or a necklace or something and put it up. Wonder what's that? Is that poison or something? But how is that
I
relevant?
yeah, some people think that the poison pellets were in some of the rings or something. That's why he put them up. I don't know why that matters if he was going to be killed, and he knew that. So I don't know.
Right.
Um, maybe. Well, I don't know if that's going to be explored further in just one episode because there's only one left. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, so Danny, like I talked about, she's pretty much broken after Missandei gets killed. But she does agree to Tyrion's plea of, hey, if you hear those bells, like let's call a truce. Like that means that they surrender. Um, and when she
But
said
how,
it,
but I was about to say, how did it really come across though? She was just like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, whatever, basically
exactly.
like get out my
That's
face.
that's how I took it too. Yeah, she was like, okay, like she didn't care. It wasn't sincere. So they kind of foreshadowed what was to come. But even when it happened, like I was just like, is this for real? Like, is this like really?
Like
Oh
I knew it was coming, man, because basically, yeah, once they showed that scene, like you described, where she was sitting there by herself and looking all crazy and
mm,
pale, and the hair was all, mangled. She looked like Viserion almost,
yeah.
or Viserys or whatever her brother's name was. It
Hmm.
Viserys? Yeah. Um, yeah. So she was just starting to look crazy. The little bird that was talking to Varys says she hasn't been eating, hasn't been hanging with anybody, hasn't been sleeping.
Yeah.
So, like I said, paranoia, bitterness from the north. She went and saved their butts, and they, trying to renege on their arrangements to supply troops, and yeah, just all the loss she's had. She's having a rough go. So that's like she's like depressed basically.
Yeah, and then
And
to
just
top
said,
it all off, she has that convo with John right before they leave.
mhm,
She once again tries to profess her love and say, look, like, like, okay, you told them whatever, like, I just want things to go back to the way they were. Like, I'm pretty sure she says this verbatim, but she says, I don't have love here. Like,
mhm.
like these people don't love me here. Like,
She even
all they
said
do is
that.
fear me.
She even said, "People love you,"
Yeah,
and he's just like, "I don't want it." Blah blah blah. You're
yeah,
my
you're my
queen.
queen. John,
But
come on,
man,
John.
he's so dumb.
I agree.
Like, yeah, he's a good. He's probably gonna end up ultimately being the hero of the story. But man, he could have stopped all this. Just like every episode, he's made huge mistakes.
Yeah,
Like last episode, he could have just like not told his family until maybe months or weeks later after everything calms down. But
right.
instead, he doesn't understand that the descent and the backstabbing. I don't know how he doesn't see this.
Well,
Daenerys basically said that's what's going to happen.
yeah, but to his defense, he was away when Ned Stark, his father,
Yeah, he
well,
hasn't been in the gang.
yeah,
He's a
exactly. So I
soldier. He's a
mean,
fighter. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, he wasn't there when that bit Ned in the butt. He wasn't there when that bit Rob in the butt. So, maybe maybe the same thing will happen next week or on Sunday, and we'll find out that it'll bite him in the butt in the end. But I mean, who
And in
knows?
this one, all he had to do was just basically be like, just gulp. Okay, let me give her this. Let me give her this D for the good of the realm. Like,
For the good of the realm. No, I feel you.
it's that simple, man. It's that simple. That's all he had to do. That's all she needed.
Yeah,
That's all she
because
wanted. But
yeah, at that point she was like, all right, okay, nobody loves me, then, but yeah.
here it
So
is
yeah,
then, right?
yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, so yeah, so basically they went to King's Landing, and then she comes out from the sun and she
Okay,
starts
okay,
just
okay. Now this part was awesome.
yeah, oh yeah, it was amazing. Like she was
Like
just
how they had the
murking.
music and they showed the city. Everybody was
Hmm.
kind of getting ready and
Hmm.
boarding up their homes and hiding their children and women and like I said, they had the music. Euron was just sitting. Euron and his fleet were out there. I mean, I was like, okay, there's something about to happen.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
about to get
nervous
lit.
to see all the scorpions. Like,
I know. There were so many, and they didn't
they,
last.
yeah,
Like,
they
my
got murked in
goodness.
5 minutes.
No wonder that they had to kill two of the three dragons, because imagine three dragons in that. It
So
just,
let's talk
I mean,
about that.
my goodness.
Clearly, that was plot armor. Like they needed
Of course.
to weaken Danny, especially with Rhaegal.
I'm about
Like
to
that
say,
was
so
so
like,
cheap how he died.
yeah, okay,
Like,
but the first one I don't mind.
yeah,
At,
I
at,
could
at
get
that point in
Viserion.
time, because I get it, because
Hmm.
I mean, it made the Night
That was
King look
actually
awesome.
badass.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and he needed it to melt the wall. So I get it. But the second one, come on.
Yeah, that was just purely plot armor because I mean you clearly see she she murked everybody with Drogon with two
Yeah.
dragons. It would have been the Warriors dynasty out here.
Should have
KD.
had all the Infinity Stones. Like, it would have
Exactly
been
right.
too easy out here. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting though, because I mean, she did what she did to the Scorpions. I mean, the Iron Fleet didn't stand a chance. She destroyed the Golden Company.
Yeah, like
You know,
they
yeah,
didn't even get like what was the point of even showing
I,
them at all? Like
I don't know. They was just a filler. And then yeah, the Dothraki somehow were alive again. I mean, apparently all of them didn't die, but it looked like they all died. But
well, there
whatever.
were some that rode back and I mean they didn't really show them in like fighting in the long night, but they did show a lot of them come back with Jorah.
Oh, okay,
Once the fire went out on the swords.
okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that really bothered me about this episode was after the Iron Fleet gets destroyed, freaking Euron washes up on the same shore as Jamie. He's just like, yeah, I want to kill you. Like, what? Why? Like,
like
where's
which
the
part of
angle
that
here?
annoys you?
That,
The
like,
fact
it
that
it
he
just didn't make any
survived, or the
sense.
fact? Oh, okay.
Like, it just didn't make any sense to pick a fight in that particular moment. Like, bro, what? Like, both of
Like,
y'all care about Cersei. Like, go help her. And he's just
right.
like,
And aren't
no.
you happy you survived a dragon
Yeah. like,
fire
like
burning
this
your
dude's
ship?
just like,
Like,
no, I want to kill
just
you, sir.
just swam like 3 miles to shore and he got all the energy to fight, but whatever.
Uh, yeah, it was. I mean, I guess Euron had to die, and seeing how Jamie and Cersei went, I guess it wouldn't have made sense for them all three to be there. But
I always thought that Jamie and Euron were gonna fight, but I thought it was gonna be like in the castle or something, like
Hmm.
I don't know, something like that. But that I kind of expected it, so I wasn't surprised.
Hmm. I was. Well, okay. I can't say I was surprised at the fight. I was more surprised as to the reasoning behind it. Like I was just like, why now? But whatever. I mean, it was
Basically,
another.
because Jamie was Cersei's love, and now Euron thinks he's gonna be the new king and the father of the baby, and he think he's the man in town now, so he's got to get rid of Jamie.
Okay, I guess it's funny when they were fighting though, and he stabbed Jamie. I was like, dang, like this how he finna go out? Like he not even gonna make it to Cersei because up until the point where that rubble
What was
fell
he
on
even doing
Jamie.
though? Why
Who,
did he end
Jamie?
up there? Yeah, he was in the city at the gate and like going around the city. How he end up on the beach like all the way back there? What was he doing?
Yeah, I mean, apparently I don't know. I mean, that was supposed to be his way out, and somehow he used
Oh,
that
okay.
as
So
his
he
way in.
okay, so he went in through the crypts.
Yeah, yeah, through the
Okay,
dragon crypts and all that.
okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, it was an interesting little fight. I thought Jamie was gonna die for real because like he got stabbed twice. But obviously he made it to die in his lover's arms, which I absolutely
Yeah.
hated. But
A little
um,
flesh wounds. You can still make it all the way up all those stairs and back up to the castle. That's nothing.
sure, sure. So yeah, man, pretty much at this point the bells start ringing. I mean, it looks like like John and Grey Worm and a whole bunch of soldiers are just they're basically in the castle, not in the castle, they're in the city at this point,
Yeah, in the city.
and they're about to murk these dudes. Like they're like, are we gonna do this? Like I think it's Lannister soldiers if I remember correctly. And then the bell starts ringing. You see Dany come down on her dragon, and everything looks cool. And then she just can't take her eyes off the Red Keep. Like
Can I mention something before we get to this?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought it was funny how Cersei was just standing there and
Of
just
course,
thinking she was still gonna win. Qyburn like, we need to go because
right.
the Iron Fleet is gone. We're getting murked. All the scorpions are gone. She's like,
Gold
my
company
sword.
gone.
Yeah, the Golden Company has been destroyed. She's like, my soldiers will always fight for me to the death, or whatever, something like that. She said.
He was like, they are
People,
dead, fool.
yeah, but the remaining ones, it's like, bump that, drop the
Yeah,
swords, ring the bell. We give up.
yeah,
It ain't worth it. We can't win this.
yeah. They tried.
Ring the bells.
And yeah, Danny, she basically, from my point of view, she looked at the Red Keep and she saw just everything that she would never really have. I mean, it kind of everything came crashing down on her, and she decided to kill everybody in the city. I thought that it's just wrong. Like that's just the wrong decision. She could have flown right up to the Red Keep and blown that shit up, but instead she decided to kill everybody in King's Landing. I just like ethically, like I mean that's just a bad decision. So now she's the bad guy in my opinion. Mad Queen has been activated, but what was your reaction to that scene?
Well, I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but it happened. I mean, I was dreading it, and I was like, no, 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 just go for the council. Just
Yeah,
actually, I had no idea she was just gonna just go rampage because she flew and she headed towards the castle, and they
exactly.
showed the little premonition or dream type image where you had the one dragon flying over the city.
Hmm.
I was like,
Yep.
okay, cool, cool, and then she just like took a detour, just like, oh,
Yeah.
just blow everybody up on the way. And I was like, okay, it's one thing if she's gonna rampage on the way to the castle, but she was just going line by
Yeah,
line, just
I'm about to
destroying
say
the
she was
city. I'm
having
like, what
fun.
the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, she was having fun. It was crazy out there.
she
Um,
blacked out. And
yeah,
yeah, like I
yeah.
said, there's really not any coming back from that. Like,
No,
I mean,
hell
yeah,
no.
I guess you could just be the Mad Queen and just rule the city, but like nobody's like she said, it's fear at this point. Like
Yeah.
nobody's ever. Like, you're gonna have everybody, nothing but backstabbers, people who's gonna be trying to kill you the first chance they get.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna really want to do anything for you. All the other kingdoms are just gonna be, I guess they'll answer to her because they don't want to get flown on with dragons, but they're not gonna like do her any favors willingly. So it's sad. It's sad because
Hmm.
this is what she worked towards her entire life. But it's
Yeah.
also a tragedy in character, just because in the sense that when you think about it, this is a girl who pretty much her earliest memories have been running and being chased from by assassins, and only person in her life that had her back was her brother, who was freaking crazy. And then, as an adult, she gets pawned off to this dude, gets married. Khal Drogo actually loves him, and then her brother gets killed, and she's like, barely blinks about it, just ruthless
Yeah,
about it. So, there's been a lot of like cookie crumbs, I'm sorry,
sure.
breadcrumbs sprinkled around, it's just kind of showing how ruthless she is when it comes to executions. How about in the House of Undying? Her servant who betrayed her, and the dude, the black dude.
Zoro
Um,
Zoro Doxus.
yeah, there you go. Just locked them in the House of Undying for life, and
Yeah.
didn't care about it. I mean, whatever. How many people she had executed? You know, and then we think about her character as a liberator. That was all like slaves and people who would worship her for life. The Unsullied and whatnot, and the slaves and Marine.
Hmm.
They all loved her because they freed her. So they were willing to do whatever for her. But it's different when people are just living their life, and the common folk don't really care about who's king or queen. They just care about, can they eat? Do they got shelter? Or
Yeah.
is people kicking down their doors trying to kill them for, are they safe basically? I mean, when you think about your life, do you really care about the politics? I mean, you do, I'm sure, but not like,
To an
you
extent,
know, yeah, exactly. To an extent, you still have to live your life every day,
of course.
and it's your duty, I guess, in society to honor them and their title and their power that they have. But you don't have to love these people. And she didn't understand that, and she didn't
Yeah.
understand politics really at all. And she honestly, frankly, she didn't really understand love. Any person she loved either got killed or had some crazy thing happen to their relationship that broke it apart, like John and her.
Yeah.
So she's kind of just always been a tragic character that we just loved because she's had a lot of character growth, and she's had moments of showing power uh, when she used from where she began. It's like, wow, but it's
Yeah,
just
man.
sad,
But
man.
yeah, to me though, it's a little different comparing the people that she's killed along the way to those innocent people in King's Landing, because
Well, okay,
every
again, what? Sorry, I just want to cut you off here because what she sees these people as people who already don't love her, don't accept her, and she's also, I guess, in her way, in her own way, like these people took from her, like took her baby dragon, her baby Rhaegar. Uh, they killed her family and casted her away. Like this is her fault that I mean, this is their fault that she's had this path and this adventure. I don't know. Maybe she
I
just,
mean,
and it wasn't satisfying, like to win that easy. No, this is
mm,
what she always imagined. Is had to be fire and blood. Like she's gonna have to.
yeah.
They're gonna know your name. Like you're just gonna go down in a blaze of glory. Like this seemed
I
to be just
mean,
how she wanted to go. So
I
I guess
I
she thought this final battle was
understand.
gonna be more dramatic. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that point, but at the same time, she has to know right from wrong, and all those
Again, bro, like
masters, like
does she
they
she's
had a
always had
reason.
Jorah. She's always had Jorah or somebody,
She
on
stopped
her
listening to
shoulder.
them 2 seasons ago. Like she wasn't
She
listening
always
to
listened to
Tyrion.
Jorah though. She always listened to Jorah
Did
when it
she?
comes to, yeah.
Mm.
But for the most part, or somebody good. She's always had somebody on, an angel on her shoulder. But they've been dying, and now she got nothing. She's always had somebody to like calm her, wildest inhibitions, and now she don't trust nobody.
I guess. I think one of the things about that scene that was interesting as well. As soon as Danny took off, freaking Grey Worm was like, "Finally, I can kill whoever
Hmm.
I want," and he just started throwing spears and like, "Me Sunday." Like, come on, man. It was
But
just.
that's more believable for him because
It is
he's just a soldier, and his only humanity he had was with Masande.
a
So
Sunday,
all he
yeah.
got is rage now. Yeah.
But it's interesting because John was just looking like, what's happening? Like, I don't understand. Like, John, bro, the signs have been there, fam. Like, how did like you didn't see this coming? Uh, but
And I got one more interesting point on that. That's war, man, and that's probably like the theme of the show. Who's really the good guys and the bad guys? Again, as a common folk, all we care about is can we live. We don't care about these kings and queens fighting these wars over power. Like
I
the
feel
the
you.
people at King's Landing, for all they know, they've had a good life for the last 10, 15 years for the most part, or however long it's been, and they don't really care nothing about this Dragon Queen coming here and dominating their city.
Right.
So, like to them, Daenerys and her side have always been the bad guys, and especially since Cersei, has been telling all that propaganda.
Yeah.
But just in general, they showed the scene where one of the northern men was about to rape a girl in King's Landing, and Jon had to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's common too. I mean, in America, how many times have we heard horrible stories about, in Iraq or Afghanistan, troops over there killing innocents or raping women or, doing dastardly deeds? You probably don't hear about it enough, but please believe it happens. There's some crazy mofos who join the military because they want to kill people and they want to take advantage of people. Or the police. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's good and evil? It's all kind of muddled. So,
Okay. So yeah, I mean, moving on from there, looks like Arya and the Hound, they're both in the city. They're in the Red Keep at this point when Dany starts attacking, and they have a conversation about living and dying. And like the Hound initially when they leave Winterfell, like the Hound's like, I'm not coming back. And Arya's like, cool, like she's like, yeah, coming back, living, who cares, whatever. And then when they're there, he's like, look, like you need to understand this. Like this is a one-way ticket. You're young, like you have the potential to be great. Like you don't need to die here. And like it really hit home with me because watching their journey in particular has been great because Arya lost her father a long time ago, and I'm not going to say the Hound is her dad, but he's like that fatherly figure, and like in that moment you can see that they have real love for each other. And it was awesome where when he was walking up the stairs to leave, she called him Sandor, like she called him by his name, and acknowledged him like as like this great person, and like goodbye. She got to say goodbye. It was like to me like one of the only real closures that I got in this season series, whatever, however you want to say it. But what did you think about Arya's and the Hound's talk before he went up to do that work?
that was good because I was wondering what's going to happen to Arya in this sense because if the castle's already crumbling, I mean, I don't know I guess you could do a quick slit the throat on Cersei and try to get out of there. But I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. So yeah, I thought that was a great scene, and it does hit home how much growth the Hound has had. I mean,
Absolutely.
never would have thought he'd be significant like that or turn good to the sense that he truly is a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unlike, say, like Jamie, who had an arc, who turned into a good guy, but then, his story kind of got ruined because he had a
Absolutely.
redemption, but he came back for what? I mean, I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that. Please believe. But before we do, I do want to talk about the fan service. Finally, we get the Hound versus the Mountain. Um, I thought that it
R.P. to
was
Kyburn. Got that work.
that shit was so funny. He was like, "Protect your like, shut up, fool." Like this. Like,
While Cersei like sidestepped the
yeah.
Hound, was like, okay, all right, I'll
Yeah.
let
She's
y'all
like, "All
have
right, all right, yeah, deuces,
that.
peace out." That was hilarious. Cersei was like, "All right, I don't want no problems. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm out of here." And it was a good fight. Like it was a brutal. The Hound stabs the Mountain, and he's like, bloody die. And then the Mountain does the little thing with the eyes, and I thought he was about to pop his head open
I
like
was
he
like,
did.
no, not like
Ah,
this.
no, it was about to be crazy. And
It
then
looked like he
yeah,
kind of did like mess his eyes
mess
up,
him
right?
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like really bloody and red. And then yeah, I mean he tackles them out the thing to so they die. They both die by the fire. Just
Which
just
is
like
poetic in a way. Yeah.
so poetic, bro. So poetic. Like I watched the inside the episode today when I was at work, and that's right. I don't work when I'm at work. But anyway, yeah. So I watched it while I was at work, and they were basically saying how this rivalry that started with the fire ended with the fire. And I was just like, good job, guys. Like, finally you're doing something right because almost everything else in this episode I just don't agree with. But it was great for the Hound to get what was driving him. I loved it, man. What about you?
I loved it too, but I left a little confused about the Mountain. Like, why does he want to kill the Hound so bad? What is his deal? I guess he's just evil like that.
Yeah, he's just a piece of crap who hates his brother.
And if he was like re-engineered to basically be a slave to Cersei's every wishes, how is he able to just snap that and she's like, I don't care about you right now. I need to. I need to do me and fight my brother.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like, Vegeta and Babidi, how, no, I'm just playing.
Oh, okay.
I,
That's a good thing. That's a good
yeah, I mean,
correlation
if,
there.
if if you got that one thing that drives you, mind control ain't gonna work, if you want it that bad. But that's how I picture it anyway. And
I'm with
I
that.
always, yeah, I always thought that they hated each other. Like that was both of their reasons for living was to kill each other. So yeah, that's just me though.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
not necessarily the Hound, because he had like a well, the Mountain had a life too before that, before he nearly died by Oberyn, but never mind,
yeah,
because they both are knights.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So yeah, next thing is Cersei and Jamie. This is something that as it was happening, I was just like, I was so disgusted. I and if you're a fan of the show, I can't see how this makes you happy. But Cersei had like a happy ending. Like she died in the arms of her lover. Like I was just like, what? I expected Nymeria, Ghost, Jon, Arya, and Sansa to Julius Caesar her ass. I expected them all to take a knife one by one and just keep stabbing, stab, stab, stab. I expected some kind of closure between that, some type of redemption, something. But no, Jamie finds her, and I, like I was saying earlier, I half expected him to just kill her. Like I thought that when they were hugging, he was just gonna pull out a knife and stab her and be like, "You crazy? You gotta die." But no, like he just hugs her and like nobody else matters, nothing else matters. Like Jamie, what? Like you went through all that for 7.5 seasons to do that? I hated it. I hated it. But what's your take on that?
Okay, let me try to rationalize. Okay, so would you really be that satisfied with Cersei getting stabbed or you know getting murked in a fight? She can't fight.
Yes.
She can't
I
fight though.
wanted. I don't care. I wanted to see her die violently. She deserved it. She was the one person that deserved it.
I think what is a more impactful defeat for Cersei is breaking her. Like she basically realized that, oh man, like she always thought she was invincible and her
Power is
crap don't
power.
stink. Yeah, power is power, and she's got the power. She's the queen. She could do whatever she
Hmm.
wants. She's always acted like she could do whatever she want and everything. Other than when the Faith Militant was messing with her, but even then she got her revenge on them, killed them all. Lost some hair, and that's about it. it lost her son and some other stuff, but generally, yeah, she came out on top there too. So she thinks she's invincible. So I think in a sense, her like just systematically losing all of that she thought like quickly, everything that she thought was gonna help her win this war, and then the slow realization that it's over, and you and your baby is gonna die. Oh, and now your love of your life that you came in with, you're all gonna die together. And it's almost like poetic in a way. They came in together and went out together. I don't love it either, but I'm trying to rationalize what they were trying to do. And also, I kind of generally agree that, I mean, she can't fight. So, like, I didn't know how they were going to kill her, but I didn't expect her to, like, pick up a sword or something. So, if she
No.
just got stabbed in the back, I mean, would that really be satisfying?
If it was Arya
Eh,
or John, yeah. I mean, I wanted to see real harm come of her. Like I didn't enjoy that she got off that easy. Like Ramsay got eaten by his own dogs. At least Joffrey got poisoned and we got to see him suffer and die. Like we didn't even get to see it. Like it just cut. Like we just had to assume that, oh yeah, the rumble fell on her and him and she died. Like no. She was the biggest bad in the series, quote unquote. She deserved to have a
Actually, that's
glorious death.
Daenerys.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. So I wonder how Danny's gonna die. Interesting. Oh, she gets her head chopped off. But yeah, so I hated it, but I'm glad that you tried to rationalize it. Still doesn't make me happy, but that's okay. It's okay. Uh,
Yeah, I said I didn't love it, but
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We got to move on. There's only one episode left, so hopefully, things will come together and everything will be wrapped up in a nice little bow.
so are you
Um,
more disappointed? I'm more disappointed that Jamie went out like that, and that's his arc.
yeah,
Because they've been sitting there trying to serve to us that this dude redeemed himself, went through the whole series, basically almost being one of the enemies of the show, turned into a good guy,
yeah,
and he just gave it all up. I mean, that's
quickly
kind
too.
of
Like,
that's kind of whack, man. So
Like he
I
had he
mean,
had like one night with Brienne. He's like, all right, this ain't for me. I'm going back to Bay. Like,
we didn't
dang.
we didn't talk about the nice scene him and Tyrion had when he was captured, which
Oh,
still, I mean, why did Daenerys' unsullied guards just let Tyrion in there if he's already on thin ice?
yeah.
And why didn't they didn't snitch on him or nothing? It's kind of like okay, and they
And
left. Like
I'm about
it's
to
one
say,
thing to
like,
let him
it
in,
did
but y'all
nobody
just
see him
left.
leave?
Right. So that's suspend belief for that. But um, yeah, I'm not satisfied with how they went out with Jamie more so than Cersei. I could believe Cersei. I would have. I guess I agree with you. I would have liked if it had been more dramatic and shown what happened. But yeah, I'm more salty at Jamie.
I feel you. So I mean, at this point, man, the episode is pretty much over. John is still standing there stunned. I mean, like I said, there's one episode left, so who knows what's next for him. I mean, the only thing that makes sense is that him and Danny have to have words. I'm assuming that one of them is going to die. Seems like the bad guy is going to die, so I have to assume Danny is. I don't know if John can do it, but like
Yeah, this is Drogon problem. I don't know how to get around that.
oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, he is a Targ, so maybe he can just go and pet Drogon and stab Danny in the back right quick. But
We'll see.
here's
Yeah,
a
and
prediction I do see happening. John and Grey Worm are going to fight.
mm, over Danny.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's not
Um,
good. Yeah.
again, I don't know how they're going to get around this Drogon issue. Maybe Arya is going to try to kill Drogon or something. I
Oh
have no idea.
Lord.
No idea
Maybe.
what's going on. There's no
I don't
Scorpion,
know.
so
I'm about to say maybe when John kills. All right, so maybe John kills Danny, and then John adopts Drogon. Like maybe she won't be with him at the time. So
I guess that could happen. A dragon will adopt a new rider when the rider is dead.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, all I know is Sansa and Varys are just like they so happy. I mean, Varys dead, but Sansa's just like I told you.
I have one more possible moonshot theory. Game of Thrones hasn't really this season. They haven't really been doing these crazy theories that a lot of people thought might happen, but I'm just gonna
Hmm.
go for it. Uh, perhaps Bran can make himself useful and do something with Drogon,
Like what? Like
like
warg into him or
warg into
something?
Drogon and go run into a mountain or something. I don't know, but
Wow, that'd be interesting.
or maybe I mean I don't know. I mean maybe they're gonna pull the Night King back into the sun. I don't know. I'm reaching, but I feel like I mean we can't have an episode without them ending. Doing something with Bran and like doing something like he's got to be useful. Thread Raven has to be useful at the end of the story. I mean,
What if?
otherwise, what was the point of them?
Yeah. Well, what if Bran? What if Bran is like the king? Like, what if he's the new? Like, what if they? Nah, that's stupid. I
Like,
don't know.
since clearly Danny is bad, and
John
so
don't want the
here's
throne.
yeah, and they may just break this up into everybody doing separate kingdoms or some kind of
Democracy or something.
democracy system that Tyrion might be presiding over or something. I don't know. But here's another theory. Maybe the arrival of dragons and the arrival of the Night King were kind of, well, not the rival, but like him and the White Walkers being more of a threat. Maybe it's kind of hand in hand. Maybe since the Night King's gone, there don't need to be more dragons, and Bran does something where they have to kill Drogon because for the balance of the realm, we need no dragon. We need for fire and ice balance. I don't know. I just feel like Bran has to do something. Like that's what I'm hoping for. Here's my my theories is John and Grey Worm are going to fight, and Bran is going to do something essential to the last episode. I don't know what, but
Mm.
it's going to have something to do with the dragon, I think.
Okay, and we'll leave it there. Man, I appreciate you coming on the pod, man. Can't wait for the finale this Sunday. Everybody, make sure you tune in. Game of Thrones, 9, 8 Central. Why am I talking like I just work for HBO? Yeah, so make sure you watch the episode. And thanks for listening, everybody.
Fingers crossed that it's actually good and
Yeah.
satisfies everybody. I know we're all
Fingers
kind of
crossed.
down about Game of Thrones right now and how it's ending season 8, but they got a chance to redeem themselves and let it go out in celebratory fashion. This has been a great show, man. I'm gonna miss this show. I don't want to be salty about how it ends. It's heading that way, but I hope it doesn't end that way. And that's all I got to say.
100%, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you to Javar. Appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks to all my listeners who listened to this episode. Guys, you are going to want to tune in on Monday because Monday I am going to have this Game of Thrones series finale review. I have a few guests lined up for this episode. I'm really excited. I'm going to make sure I get a ton of different opinions, a lot of different perspectives. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you tune in on Monday to the Game of Thrones series finale review. Also, guys, please remember to subscribe to the pod. You can listen on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher. I don't know, however else you get the freaking podcast. You can listen to it there. And yeah, subscribe so the episodes download automatically, or you can just download them individually. The downloads are what really count for me. Thank you so much, guys. See you on Monday, Game of Thrones series finale review.